young people are told something that sounds generous. They are told that they are the future. It is meant as encouragement and hope. But hidden inside this phrase is an insinuation that their time has not yet arrived. If they are the future, then the present must belong to someone else. From an early age, many young people are taught that their role is to prepare. They are encouraged to study, practice, observe, and wait until they are ready to enter serious conversations. Leadership, decision-making, and influence are all framed as destinations that come later, after enough experience has been accumulated. At the same time, we live in a world that depends on participation. Democracies depend on participation. Communities depend on participation. Institutions improve when more voices are involved. Progress is built by contributing and participating over spectating. Yet the people who will live the longest with the consequences of today's decisions are most often the ones told to wait. Adults often argue that complex systems require maturity and experience, and that young people should first spend time learning on them before they attempt to shape them. Readiness is treated as a prerequisite for involvement. And yes, this is true to an extent. But what if readiness is not something that comes before participation, but something that grows because of it? When young people are consistently positioned as learners rather than contributors, they begin to internalize this role. Serious conversations appear to belong to someone else, and authority begins to be tied to age rather than engagement. Over time, waiting becomes less of a temporary stage and more of a habit. I began to understand this personally in the summer before I entered 8th grade. That was when I founded Youthful, a youth-led organization aiming to provide students, particularly in high school and college, opportunities to explore their passions in the legal field. When I started this organization, I did not feel qualified to start anything. I did not have years of experience, and I had never built an organization before. I was still figuring out what I was interested in myself. What I did have was curiosity and the realization that if I kept waiting for the right moments to feel ready, I may never begin. I do not regret that decision. Growing with my organization, instead of waiting for permission and legitimacy, has allowed it to expand to over 70 current members across over 20 countries and 18 US states, with 25 chapters in total. I can affirm that the hardest parts of this journey are the beginning, when you are unsure of what to do, and the middle, when the novelty wears down. When you are young, it is easy to measure yourself by what you lack. You look at your age and assume it disqualifies you. You look at your resume and compare it to people who have had years of experience and time to develop. You start to believe that legitimacy is something that arrives in years, when in reality it is something that you grow into with your experiences. I considered waiting. It would have been safer. I could have told myself I needed more time, more knowledge, and more proof that I deserved to lead something. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that the experience I believed I needed could only come from actually doing the work. So I started, even though I felt unprepared and nervous. It was not perfect. I had to learn how to organize meetings and manage responsibilities such as leading a team. There were moments that exposed how much I still did not know and needed to grow. But these moments did not prove that I had started too early. They became the reason I continued to grow. Responsibility forces growth. The confidence I thought I needed beforehand began forming because I stepped into something that required it. Skills developed because I had to use them in my role. My perspective expanded because I was actively involved. The experience I thought I needed to come first ended up coming after as I began the work. This shift changed how I see youth. We often treat it as a waiting room for adulthood, a time meant for preparation. But from my own experience, it showed me that youth accelerates when you step into participation, not when you stand on the sidelines trying to perfect yourself first. Youth is not only more than a time of waiting, but it is an advantage that many people fail to utilize. Participating in what you are interested in when you're alone allows access to mentorship and guidance seldom given to adults, opening doors for new experiences and opportunities. Looking beyond the frame means questioning the idea that you must fully fit the title or role you want to pursue before you claim it. It means challenging the assumption that legitimacy is granted only after a certain age or milestone. It means recognizing that capability is often built through action, not before it. The world does not benefit when young people sit quietly preparing for some future moment of arrival. It benefits when they engage and learn, even if they are still figuring things out. I did not start Youthful Lawyers because I had everything figured out. I started it because I was willing to figure it out as I went. Because readiness builds participation, not the other way around. Thank you.